A warm welcome to another exciting episode of IDEC TV podcast. And in studio with me today is Mr. Charles Muka, an ex-convict and a guardian of 21 children, adopted children rather. I'm your host, Renee Sakala. Mr. Muka, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm very fine as well. So to begin with, in my hands right now, I have a Daily Mail paper dated 8th September 1998. And the headline was, "I deserve to die, says convict." Did you deserve to die?
Yes, I deserved to die because of the nature of the offense that I committed at that particular time. Yes.
Okay, so if you say that you deserve to die, Mr. Muka, what really happened on a date of 6th June 1995?
On that particular day, we staged a robbery in Rwanda with my colleague. For security reasons, I cannot mention his name right now unless if he was here. So it was in Rwanda and it was in the morning. So we were hired by a certain man who used to deal in stolen vehicles here in Lusaka. He's now late.
How old were you?
I was just 19 years by then. So we were given a gun and we were hired to go and steal a vehicle. By that time the latest was in Hyundai. So we were told, if you can get that vehicle for me, then I'll come and give you money. I had difficulties in the nature of survival. So that's how I accepted to go and being used by that man to go and steal a vehicle. So we stole a vehicle in Rwanda, a Hyundai by make, as I've explained. We brought it to him here in Lusaka, and then after that, he promised us to give us money, just give us a little money. And then I traveled to Rwanda in Ndola to go and see my cousin by then. And then she's the one who informed the police at Ichifu. I'll be found in Ndola at that particular day because she had heard news that I had stolen a vehicle. And then the anthropology section came and apprehended me. They were, if I remember very well, they were 15. So they came and surrounded the place where I was supposed to go and lodge at my cousin's place. So they apprehended me. And then they took me to Hillside Cemetery where they wanted to gun me down. They took me to the cemetery there, and then they told me to run away. I said, no, why should I run away? You have brought me here. So let me just go and give you the gun. We have taken the gun and the vehicle, I showed you. So out of the 15, they started arguing. One said, no, you have already apprehended this person, so why should you gun him down? You would have gunned him down right there when you were apprehending him. So the people have already seen that you have apprehended him alive. So they started arguing. That's how God spoke to that police officer.
That was your saving grace?
Yes, it's God who is that police officer, because they wanted to kill me. So that's how they said, okay, let's take him to Kansenshi police. They took me there, and then the following day, they informed the Rwanda Central Police because I committed the offense in Rwanda.
What was going through your mind at that point?
At first, I didn't know the nature of the offense, the gravity of the offense that I had committed. I didn't even know to say I was committing a aggravated robbery. It was just like a child play. Oh no, to send a motor, we are just going to grab a vehicle, go and sell. I didn't know I was committed aggravated robbery. I didn't even know the punishment of that offense. I was doing that out of ignorance. I never knew. If I knew the gravity, I think I would have not even gone to do that.
You were arrested, you were taken to trial, you were taken to prison. Tell us, give us a picture of your memories when you were in prison. What was life like? At 19 years old only.
When I was charged with an offense of aggravated robbery, I was taken to Rwanda prison. I stayed for 6 months there, waiting to be committed to the High Court. When I was committed to the High Court, I was taken to Peter Singomo prison, which is near Dora Central Hospital. I stayed there for 3 months, and then I was committed to the High Court. Later on, I appeared in the court of Mr. Justice Sylvester Smachera, who is late now. So after deducing all the evidence from the witnesses, so he found me with a case to answer, and he told me to say, you are just 19 years, and then you go and hold a very dangerous assault rifle, an AK-47. So I wonder where you got this gun from, and if I leave you, and if I give you a lesser sentence, you end up terrorizing people. So at 19 years, if you can commit this, then at 20 years will be 20, 21, 25 will be very terrible. So I'll give you the minimum sentence for aggravated or for armed robbery. So he said, I'll sentence you to death by hanging. So that's how he sentenced both of us. We were taken to Consent prison. We stayed for 1 week there, waiting to be transferred to Muka.
What were your emotions when you heard the judge say, I'll sentence you to death by hanging?
I was broken, because I knew to say this was the end of my life. I was broken down because I never expected to say I find myself in such a situation. I felt like wanting to run out of prison, but there was nowhere I could run. There was tight security. So when I was taken to Consent, I was broken down. I think I stayed for 1 week without eating. So when I reached that place, I stayed there, and after 3 months, the then president, Mr. Frederick Chiluba, who is now late, may his soul rest in peace, he signed a warrant of execution for 8 condemned prisoners, and he pardoned the 16, walking to freedom. So 8 condemned prisoners were meant to wait 3 days before they were executed. They are given 3 days chance to speak to their relatives, to communicate to the relatives, to come and collect their belongings. If at all they had some clothes, take them, and then just say bye to them. So now, on the day that they were being executed, that is where my turning point came. It was, I remember very well, it was 19 January 1997.
You were meant to undergo that execution as well. What went through your mind?
It was terrible, because when I peeped through the window, I saw the warders. Just that fear came into me. They had short buttons, and they were men, the faces that I had never seen. So they started going doors opening for prisoners. In my cell where I used to sleep, they came and opened and took out Shadrach Nkoma with his mattress and belongings. They took them down. So after some time, they took them to the waiting cells there. And then after they were taken to the waiting cells, which is about 50 meters from the condemned section. So they were meant to stay 3 days there. They stayed with Father Ben Bowen, who used to be the Catholic priest and chaplain for maximum security prison. So he spent 3 days with them there, as they were waiting to communicate to the relatives. So on the day that they were executed, that's where my turning point came. We could hear it was 05 hours, and then we just heard some noise. They were shouting. Now the prisoners were shouting because they were 8. So they said, "Okay, guys, Bamba kutitenga manje. We are 3 of us. Bamba kutitenga." No, it's 50 meters away from ourselves. So when it was 05 and the air was cool, so we could hear the voices very clear. Bamba kutitenga manje pabaendo tinyonga. They are killing us. They are going to kill us now. We are cheated. They started mentioning their names, and then the fellow prisoners started now banging the doors now. Okay guys, okay, mwende puino, tizaka kupeza naife kwa meno kumanje tipwela, wazati pa momeno za kupailani. Me, I had no powers to respond because I was broken. That was my first time I was witnessing such a thing. I had never witnessed it, and I was very young. And after that, I knelt down and prayed to God to say, God, if you want me to die in prison, let me die here. I committed the offense, I'm not refusing. I'm ready to die. But if you want me to save well, please spare my life, so that I can go and save you and be a testimony to the community and those who would be offenders. I want to go and save you. So I felt my life changed completely. I felt like after I pray, I felt like something has been lifted out of my shoulders. So after that time, that's when we are told by there was change of government. Mr. Manawasa came into power. That was 2001. He said, I'm a lawyer, I'm not signing a warrant of execution. can you, Mr. Commissioner, can you tell those prisoners who have lost their appeals to the Supreme Court to file their petitions to me? So we were 104, we did that. We filed the petition to the President, Mr. David Patrick Manawasa, now the late Minister, rest in peace. After, I think, a month, that's when we heard on TV, because we had a TV inside our room. It was read by Mr. Jacqueline Temple to say the President has pardoned 12 condemned prisoners. So the following day, the officer in charge came with a list and he called out the names. I was at number 6. I was given 20 years from the time I was arrested. So it was discovered to say I was supposed to remain in prison for another 3 years and already served 10. So from then, I was transferred from death row to convict section because there
after you had already served 10 years.
Yes. So I asked for transfer to go to Rwanda, where I committed the offense to, and most of my relatives were in Rwanda because that's where I grew up. So when I arrived in Rwanda, I found 334 prisoners at Rwanda prison. So because of my character and being the oldest at that prison, I was made to be the captain of 334 prisoners. So I could walk 7 kilometers away from prison without an escort of any prison officer. So in short, I was made a trustee.
So
Yes.
how long were you in Rwanda?
I was in Rwanda for about 3 to 5 months. Then Mr. Louis Kapwasha came and assured us to say the President was going to make an amnesty. He was going to release some prisoners. So we should not despair. So after a month, it was announced that the President has released 834 prisoners. So at Rwanda, they released 10 and I was at number 1. So in 1 year, I received 2 pardons.
Within a year?
Yes, from the same President, Mr. David Patrick Manawasa. From death row to 20 years. Then when I'm waiting to finish 3 years, that remained, again I was recommended at Rwanda prison by the warder there to say, oh, you Anachinja Abdallah has already reformed. It's just eating taxpayers' money. As is a chapeunga, it's just finishing food for the prison. Let him be released. He cannot commit an offense again this way.
So how was you feeling then?
Oh, it was like a stone being removed out of my head because I couldn't believe that. I walked about 100 meters away from prison. I was looking behind to say maybe I'm being followed by the prisoners. Maybe these people they are just planking me. So until I disappeared from prison, no one was following me. That's when I believed. I went inside the home. I slept. I couldn't enter. First, I had to wait until around 24 hours. That's when I said, now I'm free. I think I can go and sleep. So I tried to call maximum security prison. I called the reception officer to find out if my friend that I had committed the offense with was also pardoned. Then I was told to say, no, he's still on death row. Hasn't been pardoned. So that's how I walked to freedom. I came into the community, found my mama died, my second brother died, my immediate young brother died. Those were the people who were coming.
So that was your life after prison?
Yes.
That was your welcome?
Yeah. I received the stigma. Stigma in the community.
And you found your mom was late?
Was late.
Your brother? My
brother late. They died in the same year.
Let's talk about now, where you are at as at present.
Yeah.
We've learned that you take care of juveniles. Do you get to go back to prison to visit people there? And let's not only talk about the juvenile. You also just go to prison to go and talk to inmates on the importance of changing once you are convicted.
Yeah, I have done that. In fact, that is my ministry. My ministry is prison and hospital ministry. To go in prisons, to go and preach, to help the prisoners to reform. Because that's the chance God has given me. So when I came out, because of the experience that I used to see in prison, women used to come pregnant there, they give birth, then the child started growing in prison. 5 years, then the child is coming and saying, hey, it's time to get into the cells. You know, the child is growing and then learning manners of prison. Go and line up, it's time to go and sleep. So I used to witness that and I used to feel very bad to say, children growing up in prison. No. When I go out, God, allow me to do something for these prisoners, for these children. Yeah. So when I came out, after I met my wife, I explained to her to say, this is the vision that I have. She said, wow, that is very good. I want to be going to prison, fish out the children that are born in prison or that are go to prison with their mothers, because their mothers who are convicted commits the crime, then the child is maybe 6 months, goes to prison and then start going there. So they don't deserve to be there. If we leave them there, we are going to let our future criminals who can come and attack our children. So we need to go fish them out, bring them in our care, then find like a certain place to make it a community school, which we have done. We have a community school and we are running a child care facility. So we bring them here and then take them to our school. So that when the mother is finishing the sentence, can come and you find the child maybe in grade 2, grade 3, in safe hands. Thank you. The children that I keep and the rental that I pay for the community school, I pay about 1,800. Then for the safe home where the children sleep, we pay 1,300. So now it is difficult because every evening my madam would send the children to the barber shop. I run a barber shop and photocopying, whatever things like that. Now because of power, the power challenge that we have, so it's difficult to raise enough income to sustain the children most of the time. So my wife in the evening would send the children to go and get something that I've worked for. Maybe if I have 90 quarts, 100 quarts, I'll give it. They'll go and buy some food stuff right there and eat. It's hand to mouth, right there. Eat right there. As I'm talking right now, I don't even have a bag of money inside my house. It's from the barber shop, go and buy foodstuffs, eat. From the barber shop, go and buy breakfast, eat. We do not have any sponsor right now. So what I do, what God gives us from our own hands, is what we pay rentals for. So as I'm talking right now, the child care facility where they are sleeping, we have got 2 months rental. So the landlord was speaking to me this morning to say tomorrow is 10. So you have 2 months arrears. So please, can you move out of the house? If you haven't paid for a month, how are you going to pay for 2 months? So by the grace of God, we are praying to say, God is going to make his miracles.
Definitely he will. He will. Mr. Muka, I would like to thank you so much for taking your time to come through to the podcast and share your life story with us. It's really been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, and our esteemed viewers, you've heard it for yourself. There is a possibility of someone really changing and becoming a pillar, a light, a helping hand, and indeed a ray of hope for other people, even after prison and after conviction. This has been your host, Renee Sakala. Thank you so much for watching.